wrapped it in tinsel. My mother always
You
had
love that
tinsel.
tinsel.
Yeah. Thanksgiving at the Stones. Yeah, we always went over there for Thanksgiving. Stones were good friends of mine. Mo.
His grandmother.
And the Stones always came to Mo's house for Christmas. They had a buzzer on the floor. Yeah, it was great. Because they had a cook who was in the kitchen. When you wanted the cook to come in, clear the table, they'd step on the buzzer.
Oh.
And it would buzz in the kitchen.
It's good living if you can get it.
Fur coat, seat covers, 2 hair dryers.
Wasn't he a judge, Stone?
I don't know what he was. He was retired.
And a little bit of money.
Yes.
Have a buzzer for the cook.
Fur coat, seat covers, 2 hair dryers, and a record set. The Christmas after Dad stopped smoking.
Well, it's probably
That's
from all
not
the money
ringing
that
a
he
bell.
saved not smoking. So
He
that's
may have,
the
yeah.
things that were bought.
Road trip to the University of Michigan in your green VW, listening to The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Well, we saw the group when we were on a trip. I got the book signed by them and gave it to Stockton. It's way back when. You guys were living in Atlanta at the time.
No, that's probably gone.
Sorry.
The infamous yellow pad that announced so many gifts. Yeah, my dad always had a yellow pad.
Legal pad.
Amsterdam, Cologne, Heidelberg, Munich, Salzburg, Venice. This was a trip that we took
What year was that?
when 1969.
When Bump Up
A
retired.
trip which created memories none of us will ever forget, said Mom. He lost the bus. Yes, he did.
In Rome.
Our bus driver. He parked the bus. He forgot where he parked it.
Find it. And then, how many rounds passed?
We went by the Coliseum. I know more times than I care to
He
think.
was trying all these one-way streets. He was trying to find his way out of Rome.
Oh, gosh.
And that's the one where, and she forgot the one where when we were in Bern. This is listed there. We were going to the bear pits, and all we got was a big pond full of ducks.
Well, our
So we
guy
got on the-
sent us the wrong direction.
So we got on the bus and said, well, "How does a bear say?" And we went, "Quack, quack." He was not happy with us.
Victor was his
We
name,
whistled.
I
No, it wasn't Victor. Victor was when our trip to
okay.
on the train trip to England. This was that other guy that sent us to all the restaurants he got a kickback on. We'd go the other way. That was 8 people, and pretty soon half the bus was following us.
Yeah.
Because
To
we
see
come
where
back
we
with
were
all our
going
stories
with.
about what good times we had.
Yeah.
This one is for you, Dad. You popped open a bottle of champagne at the wedding reception in 1977. By the way, you did a stellar job walking me down the aisle. I did walk her down the aisle, I guess.
Well, she's talking about her dad being at home who couldn't fly to Denver to marry her.
Well, he wasn't allowed to.
And
He
so,
It wasn't the question of flying. It was the question of altitude.
okay. So, Bump Up didn't go. But he watched it on...
They hooked him up on a phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he gave her away. He gave Nancy away, but I walked her down the aisle.
Oh, cool.
So that's what she's saying. Here's to you, Dad.
Yeah.
Not you, to her dad.
I wish I could be part of the celebration. You are so deserving of the wonderful tribute. Congratulations and love from Cape Town, South Africa. There was a
she is right
picture
now.
of Nancy when she got married. Oh, this was the family there.
Tell you what, that girl can smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amsterdam, Cologne, Heidelberg, Munich, Salzburg we went to, Venice, Florence, Rome. I don't even remember I remember these
Paris.
places, but she's got a great memory as far as
Oh, she hasn't.
knowing where we went.
She does a...
Nice, Geneva, Bern, Paris, Brussels, to name a few. And then they stayed on with her. Stayed on with my parents.
Well, your parents went on to England for that meeting.
Well, yeah. But we came home.
Right.
He lost the bus.
Well, that was so
Would you
funny.
believe he lost? We used to sing that with the new Christie Minstrels, Green Green. sitting in the back of the bus, half drunk out of our minds.
Well, we buy this humongous thing of
Bottle of wine
$2.
for-
Oh, yeah.
It was before $2 Chuck
And we
was
sat in the back of the bus.
popular.
And then, every once in a while, we'd want the attention of the guide, and one of the guys would whistle. He just blew up one day. I'm not a dog.
Yeah.
Don't whistle
You're an
to
idiot.
at me.
Wow.
Oh, we just get stoned on that wine. Oh, jeez.
Road trip to the University of Michigan.
Well, I don't know
I
about
took
that.
road trips to the University of Michigan when I was at Dartmouth.
That was with me. That was before me.
No, when I was at Dartmouth, we went to the University of Michigan. We go take long weekends.
Well, she
Yes,
would have been
Katie
how
asked about
old?
her.
Thursday to Tuesday.
Oh,
Get back
You
for
know,
Wednesday
one time-
classes.
no wonder it was a 6-year process to get through school.
Not 6, 7.
Sorry.
Oh, I was going to tell another
better
story
about
about how was that. Well, I was telling Katie about Moore when you met me, and the fit Moore through. Well, you can't go out with her. You're going out. And then I told Katie about how we saw her father at Lakeview Estates one night at a party.
Yeah, I was dating another girl at the time. Yeah, that was the way it went. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was neat.
Yeah. So very thoughtful, I thought.
Yeah,
She put together.
she's got all the pictures of Susan and Nancy. 1949. I'll have to start looking for some. Now, Miss Crosswhite, she was neat. I guess my dad, I remember the one story he talked about, that they went to Mass. He'd take her back, so he walked in. They were sitting there, and they decided who was going to put the money in the till, and Dad had a quarter or something like that at the time. Because when you had babies then, you were strapped in your bed for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother would come home from the hospital and she'd go upstairs, and that's why we had this Miss
They
Crosswhite,
carried her upstairs.
because she couldn't do stairs.
Oh.
And she was confined basically to the bed for 2 weeks.
So then I
But
had
they
Katie.
sat there and they
Oh,
were
okay.
doing this with a quarter back and forth to see who was going to put it in a...
So Mimic and Bump Up came down when I had Katie. And he was so demanding of her that I was up and about doing everything. And, you know, the day after I got home,
Yeah.
geez, he looked at me. You're like a, what did he say? A peasant.
Oh.
Going right back out to the field. And I felt like saying, I have no choice. Your poor wife, she's in tears because you're so demanding. That's how he was.
Yeah.
And so they left the next day. They were going to be down there for, I couldn't stand it, him demanding to her, Allie, get me a glass of water. Allie, do this. Allie, do that. And she was there to help me.
Right.
That's neat.
Yeah. Yep. So
Okay.
some additional, and like I said, no particular order right now, and eventually this will be archived in a real book. But just letting you know. So I'm gonna read some of these, and
Okay.
so this is from Grace Brumfield.
Oh gosh, she's no one of you.
Your father was one of the finest principals I have had the privilege to know. He was very intelligent. He had a wonderful sense of humor, and when he blew, we knew we'd stepped over the line. But he never held anything against anyone. And the next day, we'd be doing well as a team.
Yeah.
Also, he never knew it, but many of the women in the building thought he was hot.
Jeez.
He would be embarrassed to have had someone say that to him.
Yes.
I would have to say that if I drew a picture of Sterling, it would be a smiling, intense man with a huge heart on his sleeve for students, faculty, and family. I still laugh at something he said to me. He is the only person that I think could have said this and made me still chuckle today. After changing my name 3 times due to marriage, divorce, marriage, I wrote a memo asking him to once again to order me a new nameplate for over my office door. When he came in, he walked it down to my office and said, "Gracie, I think we need to put this one up with Velcro." It was the perfect comment. I am glad to know that Sterling is doing well. He was kind and helpful to me when I came to Worthington as a counselor, and I always respected him professionally and personally. That has remained to this day, and I wish him and all those whom he loves happiness.
Oh,
Grace
that's nice.
Brumfield.
We made him put this one up with Velcro.
Oh God, I forgot what Grace Brumfield was. That was her last one, and she divorced that one. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. She just every year we start a new year, she had a new name. Hey guys, don't bounce on the bed. I don't want to break it. I gotta sleep in it tonight.
So this one's from Pat Lunsford.
Okay.
You are the most dedicated, ethical, fair, thoughtful, stable, and professional individuals in swimming that I know. Our relationship in swimming began when you started coming to Cincinnati to do the rules meetings for the OHSAA. Within a few years, I had the pleasure of working the Ohio High School State Meet with you beginning in 1980. With your leadership, the state meet grew in strength and stature. Through those years, we became good friends, a friendship I will cherish the rest of my life. The characteristics I think I admire the most is how you treated all the officials equally and showed respect for what they did. If a mistake was made, you handled it professionally and sometimes with some humor to take the pressure off. Some people may think, are we talking about the same Sterling? Because I'm sure there are many stories that I'm not aware of about your lighter side from family and closer friends. From my perspective, one of your biggest contributions to swimming has been your involvement with the Our Kids initiative. You have been an integral part of OKI since its inception in 2000 and provided a great insight on the historical aspects of high school swimming. Not only did you offer your expertise to group, but also remained a greater respect for swimming in general by meeting and working with experts such as yourself from the other organizations. Sterling, thank you for your friendship and respect. You've had a huge impact on swimming in Ohio, on my career in swimming, and have left a legacy of excellence that will be hard to surpass by anyone. Happy retirement and happy birthday, my friend. Pat Lunsford.
That's it.
And didn't he do that this week?
You met Pat up at.
Yeah, and he was at the state meeting. He says, I'll get it done this week. And we knew some of those people we hadn't heard from were very involved with the swimming process to get it to state. And they just didn't have the time.
Oh yeah.
So I was trying to explain to
Well,
Katie,
Pat is very much involved in USA swimming too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, and he was the starter of the swim meet in Athens at the Olympics.
Oh, really?
So I mean, he's done all.
Wow.
That's cool.
So
and now he trains, if he goes all over the United States training officials.
Yeah, I was with you
with
when you
USA, we're trying to get him to do it for high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so it's mainly college.
Well, he does. No, he works basically USA swimming. He doesn't work NC2A. Ken Guy and some of the other officials are NC2A.
So what's USA swimming?
Age group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, strictly age group across the United States.
Okay.
It used to be AAU when I coached.
AAU. What American?
American Amateur Athlete, or
That's for you.
American Athletic Union, I think it was. It used to be AAU before it became USA.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's age group.
What's that?
AAU swimming was age group, right?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. This is from Debbie Moore.
Okay.
Sterling Apthorp is a straight shooter with a phenomenal grasp of all aspects of the sport of swimming and diving. He's an advocate for students and their coaches, which is exactly the type of person you want to be in the position of rules interpreter. He is also, however, an official himself, a strong supporter of swimming and diving officials. His background as a competitor, a coach, and official made him perfectly suited for his leadership in interscholastic swimming and diving. I have loved working with your dad because he is so steadfast and dependable, and I knew that no matter what the issue, we would figure it out. I spent many an afternoon in August reviewing swimming and diving material in preparation for the new season. The last several years, I would journey to your parents' home in Newark, which is also my hometown. Sit at the dining room table. Your mom would usually take off for one of her many activities. Churn out our new strategy for the year, and then go to dinner at a local restaurant.
Right.
I will always cherish those afternoons spent in discussion with your dad, as well as the times we both spent in Indianapolis at national rules meetings. What a great education for me. Sterling is so well respected in the swimming and diving community, both here in Ohio and at the national level. He has served in just about every capacity that one could imagine as it pertains to swimming and diving. I have to tell you that one of the absolute delights for me is to hear him laugh. I know that you know exactly what I mean. Sterling has such a distinctive laugh that it starts down low in the throat and has an absolutely conspiratorial, mischievous quality to it.
Yes.
Cracks me up every time and reminds me that it's a man who loves life and enjoys a good goof off. Speaking of family, we would always spend time talking about each of ours, and he was always eager to speak about his children and how his grandchildren. Chip and you are so very fortunate to have kind parents that you have. I could go on, but I think you get the picture. Sterling, you know that I wish you the very best that life has to offer. On the 75th anniversary of your birth, here's to good health and much abundance in your life as you transition to that next phase, wherever it may take you. Lots of love.
No.
Debbie Moore.
Very nice.
So, all right.
Apparently you've made a few friends over the years.
I guess. Thank you.
So Lori Luther.
Oh, jeez.
It's been 60 years since I first encountered Sterling Apthorp at Western Reserve Academy, and I'm happy to say that I have fond memories of both. It seems like only a few years ago that I visited your parents' lovely home, getting to know his sister and brother. I quickly came to understand the family dynamic. For example, it was always a great disappointment to Sterling that he did not have his brother's musical gifts. I still remember that fine drumming.
Yes. Thank you.
See, Lori was an only child,
Okay.
so the family dynamic
German.
is what he was talking about.
German? Okay.
Oh, German.
Is that one?
Very
Okay.
German.
I didn't know that.
Lorenz Otto Luther.
Yes.
And German was the first language of the house.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, his father's name was
Those are
Otto.
too bad, guys.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and German.
Okay. So we were, of course, the most studious and gentlemanly students. I'm sure Sterling will remember those times we excelled with a bit of painting of the water tower or the docking of the sailboats in the dining hall.
Oh, yes.
Oh, now we're gonna have to stop.
Of sailboats in the dining hall.
All right.
So what was that?
You know how it is.
No, I don't.
No.
Now tell us. You got sailboats?
Huh?
What kind of sailboats?
Yeah.
You have a
put
lake
sailboat.
there?
Huh? We had a big double door. You could get anything in there. We used to put Mr. Randall's Ronald in there. He'd come in the morning. There's a car, you know.
Dining hall at
anything
Western
about it.
Reserve?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, at Cutler Hall there, that
Yeah.
big thing there, it's got those big double doors where we eat.
So did you have a river or a lake there that you could have a sailing club?
Oh, Mr. McFarland, he was a shop coach. He used to build little. They had a sailing club,
Okay.
and he put his sailboats always over in the shop area.
Oh, so you just relocated them?
Sure. Why not?
How did you relocate them? Those aren't the lightest things in the world.
No, but they're on wheels.
Oh.
These doors were unlocked at night, so
Oh
you could
yeah.
just...
Well, it's a dorm. There was a dorm upstairs, 2 or 3 floors. They can't lock anybody in.
Oh.
The first floor is the dining hall, and the second and the third floor are dormitories.
Yeah, but you brought the sailboats from where? How far
The
away?
shop.
Oh,
Across campus?
yeah, across campus.
Nobody noticed that.
Not in the middle of the night.
Ah, they sleep.
How many-
What time was this done?
Usually probably 2:30, 3 in the morning.
And how many of you were in on this thing?
Probably
Mommy?
8 or 9,
Oh,
10.
so who are your best friends doing this?
Oh, the whole dorm would get.
Oh,
We decided it was time to,
do something.
Agitate.
Oh, they go into people's rooms and get all their shoes out of the closet. That was fun. Have a
Come
big
down to a
come
pile.
down a big pile of shoes.
What else?
Did you ever
So-
sleep? What's your reserve?
How did you get into Dartmouth College with those grades?
So
I
let's
couldn't now.
Yeah.
so let's not forget the bricking of the entrance of Ellsworth Hall.
Yeah, let's see. That's what it's called, Ellsworth. It's not.
It's the big white one, isn't it?
No, it's the big building there, across the street from the Informing.
So yes, these activities improved our images as well as our
I want to go back
GPAs.
to the breaking of something.
Brick up the
Bricking
door.
the
Tricky.
You
Brick-
bricked up the door
the
Brick up the
entrance.
door, yeah.
Yeah.
with mortar?
Yeah.
Why?
There was always construction going on.
Why? It was
Why
just
not?
a learning curve.
Why not?
What year was that?
Oh,
What was it?
1953 maybe.
What
Oh,
did you
your
call
junior
it,
year?
Dad, when you put the baby powder in the
The bag and go.
and just underneath the door and coat the room? No, you didn't do that. I
Oh
did
no,
that.
it was
Sorry.
that. We
You grassed rooms.
we took
The sod.
sod, yeah, but that was at Dartmouth.
Oh. I had
And
heard
then
of
you
that.
take a shaving cream thing, and you punch a hole in the bottom and throw it in the room.
Oh,
You're just running up, jumping all over the
Oh.
place. Just
Instantaneous. Oh
just spraying everything and jumping all over.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Surprise.
Whose ideas were these? You were a
I
follower
don't
or
know.
were you an originator?
I don't know.
liar.
Yes.
Well, we now know the answer to that question.
Okay, what else?
Learn from the best.
What else does Lori have to
What
say?
else have I done?
Yes. So he said, yes, these activities improved our images as well as our GPAs.
Yeah.
Or was I the only one to partake in such extracurricular activities? Question mark.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, I'll
So
tell you one thing. His mother and my mother were the only ones that had roses from our class
yeah.
at commencement.
Why?
Just because we got flowers for our mothers. We were the only two.
Oh.
Okay.
You know, they lived right around the corner from me.
Okay.
And I really didn't know him growing up. I knew of him,
Yeah.
but he was being away at school all the time. And then there was Andy Kreider farther up the
Ryder
road.
was up, yeah, lived in Giles Road.
Yeah.
But Andy lived on Lallemont. That's where we knew him.
Yeah.
Diagonally across the street from Dick Uter.
Okay.
And Pete Cornell and Glenn Parenthal. They all lived on
Dada,
Lallemont.
stop it! I'm trying to put the coupons in your
So
pocket.
so once we had graduated, Sterling and I remained friends. I remember when he met the beautiful Beth and when they married. I'm honored to say I remember very fondly when he and Beth attended my wedding to Margaret some 19 years ago. Perhaps even more an indication of fine friendship. I remember the many times he visited my mother in his older years when I was far away in Texas. She loved those visits very much, just as she loved Sterling. I will always feel the most sincere appreciation for those visits, a highlight from my mother. Sterling Apthorp was a fine friend as a teenager. He has remained so for me. I hope his birthday is filled with family, love, laughter, and great plans for a future of relaxation he and Beth so deserve. I look forward to our next visit and will readily admit that it is far overdue.
I hope he comes to our. See, we're creating a reunion.
Well, you have to call
75th.
maybe next week.
Yeah.
When I called the first time, I left a message on the answering machine and no one called back. So then I got, I
no
don't
wonder
know,
you got.
a week or so later I tried again and Margaret answered and I had a nice conversation with her.
Oh, okay.
Didn't talk with Lori, but had a nice chat with Margaret.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So-
he's still working. She says she doesn't think he'll ever retire.
Probably.
Okay. Causing havoc here with my computer, but the next person is Eileen Calvi.
The
Yes.
secretary, after
Okay.
Drew.
Okay. I guess I never knew her last name. Alright, so I actually worked for your dad as a sub in 1991, as he must have lived or liked my work because he hired me as his full-time secretary the following year. I referred to your dad as the master on many occasions, as I believe he is still the only person who really knows how to run a high school. He personally taught me how to do most of the work I had to do on the computer, and as a result, I can still do most of our management system blindfolded. He not only supported the staff, but he took care of them. He once said to me, "A happy teacher is a good teacher." So I felt that my job was to keep them happy, and I've done my best. When your dad was here, our teachers were very happy. They were always heard and supported, which seldom happens anymore. Under your father's direction, I believe we had one of the finest teaching staffs in the country. Your dad was always incredibly warm and caring. In August of 1993, I returned from Wisconsin when I thought I had said my final goodbyes to my own dad. My mother called and said that my dad wanted to see me again, and I told her that I couldn't come back because I had to get everything ready for the start of the school. When I shared this with your dad, he said, "If your father wants to see you again, you're going to see your dad. Let me worry about the opening about school." That was your dad. Family came first, and I went back to see my dad one last time. When your dad was at Thomas Worthington, I always felt protected. There was no question that he would always look out for my best interests. His word was golden, and the entire staff knew that he would come to him with any problem, or could come to him with any problem. He would truly listen, and that doesn't happen anymore. Aside from my own father, your dad has the highest integrity of anyone I've ever known. God broke the mold when he created Sterling Apthorp.
I had a couple of nice.
Sterling, I hope that you have a fabulous 75th birthday and enjoy a wonderful celebration with all your family. I send my love and warmest regards. Eileen Calvi.
She hopes to retire next year. You probably see her. Do you see her at breakfast or do you stop by
No.
school?
I haven't seen her. I was there for the swimming meeting, but
Well, you know, she had to get out of that principal's office. And
well, yeah,
that's
she
been a-
works up in guidance.
Yeah, she's very happy up and I mean, as happy as she
Yeah.
could be. But maybe in another year she'll retire.
No, Sarah's married now, and I don't know what
Dana.
Dana's up to.
Yeah. 2 daughters.
Her husband died.
Too young.
Well, you know,
At
he
least
had
10 years
some
ago.
crazy disease.
Yeah.
One of the
Josh helped me
they talked
pull up
about.
her, you know, her phone number.
Oh,
I mean, without an old staff directory,
yeah.
I mean, and then Pam Gallipo, somebody said, oh, you contact the athletic department at Thomas.
No,
And-
that wouldn't be Pam. Oh, yeah, she might.
Yeah, they gave me information. Did we ever hear back from Pam Gallipo?
I'll have to look.
She's probably down in Florida.
Gallipo.
Yeah.
She's probably in Florida this summer.
Right, we knew that.
Okay.
Right. So I got some good information. And then somebody heard that you were, somebody, I can't remember if it was Grace or whoever. Oh, well then you'd like to hear from blah, 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 you know.
Okay.
And they gave information, I think, of Katie's email address.
Oh, okay.
So it was real nice. But I was going nuts trying to figure out, oh, I don't want to be on this. Thank you.
Yeah,